Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice right now that we are trading basically at the upper end of the previous session's range. The ES reached a high yesterday of 29.0575. We have hit a pre-market high today of 29.05, just ahead of numbers that are coming out here shortly. We have formed a very clear two-day range so far heading into RTH, and we are holding above the 2880s. This is a very, very important level here. 2900 is a very important level. That zone is the zone that we talked about before, that if price couldn't hold it, we'd drop. On the retest, if we couldn't get beyond it, we'd drop, and now we're back at it again. So again, we're watching to see how this plays out. Any failure to hold 2880 could open up some degree of a pullback, whether it's just a near-term pullback toward 2820 or perhaps a pullback all the way to the previous lows between 2728 and 2740, or perhaps new lows in the 2700. Again, we don't know how this will play out, but 2880 is going to be the key level to watch. I would pay attention to the previous session's high here. If there's any failure to hold above that high, should a test occur above it, that could be the early indication of a failed high that starts to lead price a little bit back down. Again, 2900 is very important here. If price starts to find acceptance above that zone, the only level left to test above would be the 2960 level. So there's a clear path to 2960 if price can find acceptance above 2900. As of right now, the market is trading just above this zone here, and any failure to find acceptance or push through that area could open up a return back down here in the near term. Alright, taking a look here at the NQ, you'll notice very similar price action here. Price showing a very, very sharp bounce here and returning right back to the 75.8125 zone. That is the midpoint of this key range. This is an impulse move here back to the mid that gave us these three key levels here, and failing to hold it, it dropped to the 50% expansion back to the bottom of the range, now back up. Typically speaking here, if there's any failure to get above 7600, we could come right back to 7300 at the very least for a retest, at the very least. Finding acceptance above 7600 would open up the top end of the range at 78.72 half. So right now between 7600 and 7650, that's the zone here where price failed twice before. And we now got to watch to see how price responds into this zone right now. We've had a steady rally up. Almost looked like we were forming a pretty sharp top yesterday, but instead bounced late in the day to take that signal away. So we will see how price plays out around 7600. Again, any failure to get beyond that zone could open up at least a pullback towards 7300. So continue to watch this zone for signs of rejection or acceptance. Looking at crude oil now. Alright, crude oil has traded below 55s. That's the very, very important CLVN, the composite low volume node, and that's the level to continue to watch. The first test into that zone led to a big break through it. The retest here led to another drop, and now price pushed near that area in the previous session, 54.84, and saw selling pressure yet again. This is an inside day that's developing, a very narrow session so far, just 31% of normal range. It's trading just 70 ticks right now of range, and it's been averaging $2.29 on a 10-day basis. So well off of its average over the last 10 sessions. Very, very quiet price action. As a matter of fact, if you look at these 3 days right now, the 3-day range is very, very narrow compared to normal. We can quantify that right here by dropping this down to 3. And you'll see here that it is 51% of normal, trading just $2.22 of range over the last 3 days. Obviously today is not printed just yet. We still need to play the day out, but it's a very narrow situation right now, and that could lead to expansion soon. On a 3-day range basis, if we were to see expansion out of this range, we could go about 5 handles. So this is going to be very important here. Can price continue to hold 53s, or do we break down through 53, 52 half and start to drop another leg down? So this is going to be very, very important. Above 55s opens up a path to 60. with a nice near-term target at 56.83. So we have a very near-term narrow range that could offer a very solid breakout opportunity soon. At the moment, everything's been trending downward. You can see inside the trigger zone here, sold off. We came into the trigger zone yesterday and pulled back, and that continues to suggest that the overall downtrend is still intact, while bears are trying to push through that 53, 52 half. Bulls are trying to keep it bid for a shot at reversing this thing back towards 60. So the narrow 3-day range is in play right now. And if there's any failure to get above 55s, we could be headed much, much lower into those 49s and perhaps below. Above 55 opens up at least 5 handles to the upside. So continue to watch that 55 CLVN and the 53 key level. All right, taking a look at gold futures, you'll notice 2 days of selling pressure here. We had a higher high rejection above 1350 for the first time, a big pullback in the previous session, and now 2 days running as prices pulled back into the PEMA trigger zone here. We've had a very bullish phase higher. Now this pullback here into the trigger zone, this is where bulls want to come in and see if they can keep it bid for a shot at pushing this thing higher another leg. But right now, again, anytime you reject off that upper boundary, there's a tendency to come back toward the midpoint of that range, which right here is 1315, and then a shot to come back toward value, which is 1285. So right now this is a very important zone here. 1325s. Can bulls keep that area bid, or will it give out and open the doors to lower prices here? That's going to be the zone to watch. Again, I mentioned before, between 1360 and 1375, that is a big time zone of resistance up there, higher time frame zone of resistance. So even if we were to rally, we're going to likely meet resistance at some point very, very soon. So right now already showing signs of that resistance here, but on this first pullback after the explosive move up, there tends to be at least a retest of these highs. So we'll see if 1320 to 1325 continues to hold. Otherwise, we could be working our way back toward 1285 very soon. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.